Trick Room's a well-known move in the Pokemon series. It's been a staple of VGC for many years, but there's a misconception surrounding how the move works. So what's up, fellas? My name is Matt, and today Elias and I have a quick video for you all. We're gonna talk about how Trick Room works, as well as a glitch that lets you ignore it entirely. Alright, let's get started.
What's up? I'm Elias, and you may have heard that when Trick Room is activated, slow Pokemon become fast, and fast Pokemon become slow. That's a decent way of explaining how the move works, but it's not entirely true. Trick Room changes the turn order in battle, but it doesn't actually modify the Pokemon's speed stats. It's a small distinction, but it does make a difference in some cases.
To flip the turn order, the game generates new values for each Pokemon based on their speed stat. Let's say Elias and I are playing a double battle. I've got a Munchlax with 13 speed and a Slowpoke with 31 speed. Elias has a 421 speed Dragapult and a 504 speed Deoxys. You know, I'm not gonna lie, even with Trick Room I don't like my chances here. By default though, Elias's Pokemon will move first on each turn, since they're faster than mine.
If Matt uses Trick Room with Slowpoke, his Pokemon will move first instead. Here's how the game determines the proper turn order. Each Pokemon's Trick Room value is calculated with a simple formula. 10,000 minus your speed stat modulo 8,192. Let's take Matt's wimpy, embarrassing Munchlax as an example. Smile. Why are you using these trash-ass Pokemon?
I'm sandbagging, don't worry about it.
Have you considered just like buying Pokeballs and then catching slightly better Pokemon? If we subtract speed from the starting value of 10,000, we get 9,987. That's higher than our modulus, so we subtract 8,192 from that number to get Munchlax's final Trick Room value of 1,795. Quick info blast.
Now we can go around to every other Pokemon on the field and apply the same formula to get their Trick Room values. Whichever Pokemon has the highest value will move first while Trick Room is active. In this case, it'll be my wimpy, embarrassing Munchlax, as you probably expected. Frown. But this Trick Room value is only used to calculate the turn order. It doesn't replace your actual speed stat. That means anything else that checks your speed works the same, because the game is still keeping track of your real speed stat.
Last year, we made 2 videos about terrible move synergies in Pokemon. The first example we talked about was Electrode learning Gyro Ball. To cut a long story short, that move checks the user and target speed stats to calculate its base power. The slower the user is compared to the target, the more damage the move deals. Electrode is one of the fastest Pokemon in the game, so its Gyro Ball will almost always be hopelessly weak.
The other day we were walking through the park and I was going through a bunch of records that are made for teams of 2, and we found one that's even more impossible. Longest one-arm handstand on someone else's head. And this man insists that I could do it.
Yeah, man. All you have to do is just, like, be better. I don't know.
Yeah, that's not happening. We got several comments wondering if Gyro Ball interacts with Trick Room at all, and for better or worse, the answer is no. Since Trick Room generates a separate value to determine the turn order, everyone's speed stats will stay exactly the same. Electrode is still fast, and something like Clodsire is still slow. So if Trick Room were to go up, the move's damage doesn't change at all. The same speed values get plugged into the Gyro Ball formula either way.
Even if Gyro Ball did use your Trick Room values instead, it still wouldn't be very good. In the example earlier with Munchlax and friends, all 4 Pokemon's Trick Room values were well over 1,000. Gyro Ball's power is based on the ratio between the user and target speed stats, which would be bad news if Trick Room did affect the move. Let's say we have an Electrode with 302 speed and an Avalugg with 54 speed. Here are the values that the Trick Room formula spits out in this case.
Since the Trick Room values are so high, the ratio between them is much smaller than the ratio between their speed stats. Electrode speed is 559% higher than Avalugg's, but on the flip side, Avalugg's Trick Room value is only about 16% higher than Electrode's. The latter is absolutely not what you want here, since Gyro Ball requires a much more lopsided ratio to do big damage. If we plug the Trick Room values into the Gyro Ball formula, we get a base power of about 30, which is absolutely pathetic. Trick Room's mechanics wouldn't be conducive to strong Gyro Balls at all, even if it did directly modify your speed stat. Elias just highlighted the number 559% and I'm not sure why.
If you saw this number in the stock market, you would be very happy.
Elias's stocks have sextupled in the last 24 hours.
I wish.
In case you were curious, the actual power of Gyro Ball is even worse in this case. Electrode is 5.5 times faster than Avalugg, which results in a base power around 5.5. You know what deals more damage than that, though? Everything.
Quick sidebar, Avalugg can also learn Gyro Ball, which would have nearly 140 base power against Electrode in this scenario, whether Trick Room is active or not. If the game used their Trick Room values instead, Avalugg's Gyro Ball would have a base power of around 21.5. No thanks.
In a similar vein, there are many moves, abilities, and items that affect speed. If they get used during Trick Room, they'll modify your speed stat directly, then your Trick Room value is updated accordingly. If you have a Scizor with 200 speed, it'll have a Trick Room value of 1608. But if you give Scizor a Choice Scarf, the item will affect its actual speed stat. It'll boost its speed to 300 and its Trick Room value is lowered to 1508. So, I was watching Hollywood Squares the other day, and at one point, Howie Mandel was asked, what's the worst thing that could happen if you ate a cup and a half of salt?
You would die.
That's right, a cup and a half is a lethal dose of salt. My thing is, if a question starts with, what's the worst that could happen, I think the answer is death, 99.9% of the time.
Now that we've established how Trick Room's calculations work, we can talk about a notable glitch involving this move. If a Pokemon is fast enough, it can actually outspeed Trick Room entirely, and move before slower Pokemon. Let's pull up the formula again, shall we? It ends with mod 8192, which makes it easier for the game to store each Pokemon's Trick Room value. But the modulus is also the cause of this glitch.
When you do modular arithmetic, you leave the result alone if it's smaller than the modulus. If we plug 1809 into the Trick Room formula, you get a value of 8191. Since that's less than our modulus of 8192, we're done. If we achieve a speed stat of 1809, the game won't subtract 8192 when Trick Room is activated. That leaves us with an insanely high value, which can potentially let the fastest Pokemon move first despite Trick Room. What's the worst thing that could happen while watching Hollywood Squares? Somebody breaks into your house and murders you.
Or you just have a heart attack.
Or you have a heart attack.
Or an aneurysm or a stroke and there's nobody nearby and you can't remember how to call 911 because you're busy stronking out.
So true.
Let's see it in action with Regieleki. This guy is the fastest Pokemon of the game, so it'll be the easiest way to pull off the glitch. At level 100, Regieleki's speed stat can get as high as 548 by giving it 252 EVs, 31 IVs, and a speed boosting nature. Let's say Trick Room is active and Regieleki is on the field with some really slow Pokemon, like Bonsly, Gimmighoul, and Trapinch.
If we plug- wow, great start. Hey, Elias, how the heck are ya?
I'm doing alright. My mom just sent me some noodles. Sis ya, mama.
MEPlaysGames lore, Elias is Chinese. If we plug the slow Pokemon speed stats into the Trick Room formula, you get numbers that are well over a modulus of 8192. So in these cases, we subtract the modulus to arrive at their final Trick Room values. But if Regieleki uses agility 3 times, its speed will quadruple to 2192. If we subtract that number from 10,000, we get a result of 7808. Since that's less than 8192, we don't subtract anything else. So thanks to this glitch, Regieleki effectively bypasses Trick Room entirely, and it has the highest value on the field as a result. That means it'll move first, followed by the slowest Pokemon, Bonsly.
That being said, 1809 speed is unbelievably fast, so the glitch doesn't come up very often. Even if you raise your speed by 6 stages, most Pokemon won't get anywhere close to that magic number. The only Pokemon that can surpass 1809 with just 6 stages of speed are Deoxys Speed and Regieleki. It's possible to outspeed Trick Room with other Pokemon too, but you need even more modifiers to pull it off. That could include a Choice Scarf, Tailwind, or speed boosting abilities like Swift Swim or Sand Rush. Quick Info Blast!
Full disclosure, fellas, this is the second time we're recording this video because, the audio got messed up the first time.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is the first time I've seen this script.
Oh, you know what? You're right. I was dreaming the first time. Most glitches that affect battle mechanics are fixed pretty quickly. The 1 in 256 glitch is only in Gen 1, the Bypass Protect glitch is only in Diamond and Pearl, and so on forever and ever and ever. This Trick Room glitch is another story, though. It first appeared in Gen 5, which is when the current Trick Room formula was implemented. Pokemon Black and White came out in Japan 15 years ago, and the glitch has still never been fixed. As you can see from today's footage, it's still possible in Scarlet and Violet.
The Trick Room glitch is pretty infamous, but it rarely actually happens in practice. Official VGC formats are played at level 50, which makes the glitch even harder to pull off. Regieleki's maximum speed at level 50 is 277, so if you want to bypass Trick Room, you need something like +6 speed and Tailwind, but in the time it takes to set all that nonsense up, your opponent can just, knock you out. Quick Info Blast!
Don't mind us, Elias is currently doing some very important programming. He's actually creating the entirety of Pokemon Scarlet from scratch on the Google Doc right now.
I'm trying to remember how to do this.
What's the worst thing that could happen while recording a Pokemon video?
You have a heart attack, or an aneurysm, or a stroke.
Do you know how much Pokeballs cost in this economy?
Yeah, 200 Pokédollars. It's been the same forever.
You think I have 200 Pokédollars lying around?
Go beat up youngster Joey or something. I don't know. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go work on my one-arm handstand. Toodaloo.